Well, good morning from Cottage Farmstead. As you can see, Daisy is fully embracing the rainy day we have here. And I thought I'd take you inside the farmhouse today since it is going to be pouring the rain. We've already had about 7 inches of rain, and so it's going to be a very wet one. Farmer Nathan actually gave me the idea for this video, as I really enjoy watching other homemakers keep house. So since it's raining outside today, he suggested maybe sharing how I keep house or some of my cleaning schedule. So if you like this video, let me know down in the comments and I'm happy to make more of these sorts of videos. So I do have a cleaning schedule or routine that I follow, and it's been kind of put together over the years. Some of the skills I learned from my mom, some of it I had learned from others, from reading, from podcasts and YouTube videos. And it's always evolving as I learn new things, and especially since we've moved into this house less than a year ago, I am still learning how to take care of this new house that's different than the old one that I maintained for 8 or 9 years. So this is just a snapshot of where I am right now in my cleaning schedule, as I'm always learning and skilling up and growing in my homemaking skills. So today is Thursday, and for me, that means I am doing Nathan's laundry and I am cleaning the bathroom, as you see here. So I have the weekly home maintenance chores that need to be done divided up over several days, so I'm never spending my entire day doing some sort of household chore. It's divided up, and it also allows me to have a day of rest on Sunday each week. So for example, on Mondays, I'm doing my laundry. On Tuesdays, I'm usually vacuuming the carpets in the house. Wednesdays, I do our bleach load of laundry, which is our towels and hand towels and linens and things. Thursdays, like I said, is cleaning the bathroom and Nathan's laundry. On Friday, I do what I call the human sweep of the house. So we have a robot vacuum that we use for the daily sweep of the floor. But on a Friday, I go around and I sweep all the nooks and crannies that the robot vac misses. And then I also mop the floors. On Fridays, I also do what I call tidying the house. So Nathan and I, by nature, tend to cover horizontal surfaces throughout the week with receipts and paperwork and things from the garden and books that we get out. And so this is the time of the week where I go around and I make sure the receipts are put away where they belong, put things back in their homes if they have a place, put things in the Goodwill pile, and just generally make sure that the horizontal surfaces are cleared off at least once a week. To make the best use of my time, I have found timing my household chores with the laundry cycle is really helpful for me. So our washing machine takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do its cycle, and so that's usually enough time for me to tackle some sort of cleaning chore, like cleaning the bathroom or doing the morning dishes, things like that. I find having this built-in time blocks of 15-20 minutes while the wash cycle is going and about an hour while the dryer is going helps me stay focused on a particular task for that period of time rather than getting sidetracked on other things. In the summer, it does get a little wonky since I'm having to prioritize my early morning hours outside. I usually prefer doing a lot of my household chores first thing, getting them out of the way. So a lot of times I'm throwing in the laundry, going outside, harvesting, coming back in, throwing it into the dryer and going back out and working on something like weeding. And some chores don't fill up the full 20 minutes of the wash cycle. For example, cleaning these 2 bathrooms takes me 10-15 minutes tops most weeks. So I usually throw in any other little tasks that need to be done while I'm waiting on the rinse cycle to go. This week it is doing kombucha, so I got all the pieces parts ready and out and going while I waited on the washing machine to finish its cycle. And while I was waiting on the water to boil and the last few minutes of the spin cycle, I picked up things off of the floor like Daisy dog toys and the blanket and the box of the vacuum sealer that we're going to need in a few weeks so that I could get our RoboVac running. This was a new toy for my homemaking this past year. I used to sweep several times a week, but it was a bit unruly here living on a farm now. So it was nice to be able to outsource that to the robot most of the week, and then I just come behind it once a week and get into the nooks and crannies that it misses. On this particular Thursday, I'm actually doing an extra load of laundry. So I caught hand, foot, mouth disease, and the nurse practitioner I went to recommended that I sterilize everything afterwards. So sheets, towels, anything that I had touched that week needed to be washed, as it is so contagious that you can actually reinfect yourself in a couple weeks. So that's where I was going ahead and getting a big load of linens going today as well. So after the laundry swap, I went back into the kitchen and started getting the sweet tea going for the SCOBY, as the water had already come to a boil while I was swapping the laundry over. Our favorite flavor of kombucha is Jamaica or hibiscus leaves. It gives it a very fruity flavor, so that's what I am cramming in these jars right here, is all the little flowers, and sometimes they're a little bit big for the holes, so you have to push them in there. So after I got all of the bottles filled up, it was time to move on to my rotational household chores. So I set aside about an hour or two every week for some other deeper cleaning chore that needs to be done around the house, but doesn't necessarily need to be done every week or every month. So this has looked differently over the years, but currently I have the house divided up into 5 or 6 zones, and each week I loop through those various zones. So I'm hitting each of those areas a couple times a year. So this week happens to be the kitchen. And this is actually an area where I'm considering changing my cleaning rotations a little bit. I've considered dividing the kitchen up into 2 zones since it does take a little bit longer to clean than all the other zones of the house. So when I am deep cleaning an area, that is when I'm going through and I am dusting, I'm cleaning the windows, I'm wiping things down really well, I'm vacuuming in like the crevices of the couch or in the kitchen. I am deep cleaning like the inside of the oven. So I'm doing some of the more fine-tooth comb cleaning that you don't do week in, week out. When I'm doing my deep cleanings, I try to follow the general wise cleaning advice of doing top to bottom. So I start up high, and so all the dust and stuff that I'm knocking out from above will settle below me, and so I will eventually clean all of it, but I'm not cleaning the bottom and then cleaning up high and knocking dust on top of stuff that I've already cleaned. In the summer kitchen, I inevitably end up with tomatoes and peppers and all sorts of vegetables all over the counter. So right here I am collocating all of them into another bowl so that I am able to clean around them easier. The one place that I do not clean top to bottom when I'm doing the kitchen is the kitchen sink. And that's because as I am cleaning the kitchen, I'm usually finding a stray dish or something that got really dirty that needs to be cleaned, or I'm emptying out the refrigerator and there's food storage containers that need to be washed. So the kitchen sink is actually the last thing I clean when I'm deep cleaning the kitchen. In the future, I'm looking forward to being able to more simply dust my open shelves here. But right now, since we don't have a vent hood installed yet, anytime that we cook something greasy, everything up there gets coated in that greasy grime that collects all of the dust. So I do have to go and hand wipe these items periodically, otherwise they get pretty nasty. So when I'm doing a deep clean of a space, I'm not necessarily doing every single deep cleaning chore that could be done in that area. So for example, last time I deep cleaned the kitchen, I deep cleaned the inside of my oven. So I took all of the racks out and I cleaned them in the sink and I scrubbed and scoured the inside of it and the outside of it. This time I'm just doing a quick wipe of the window and the outside of it, and I'm going to be moving on. I think this time around, since I have a fairly empty refrigerator, I'm going to focus on cleaning out the inside of the refrigerator as my extra deep cleaning chore in this area. But first, the first round through the dryer is finished, so I need to swap laundry over and start taking care of Nathan's laundry before it gets too wrinkly. And with the laundry folded and put away, it's time to pick up where I had left off in the kitchen with the refrigerator. In one of my previous rotations this year, I took everything off of the outside of the refrigerator and gave it a really deep clean. So right now I'm just going to touch it up a little bit before I move on to the deeper clean that I'm going to be doing on the inside of it this time around. This time of year, my fridge is usually packed full with produce coming out of the garden, but on this particular Thursday, I just happened to not have a whole lot of it in the refrigerator. I'm in between harvest cycles, so I was going to take full advantage of that and get the inside of it clean, as it's going to be getting filled up again later today with some more harvest. And like everybody's refrigerator, I do find old food that just needs to be tossed. I had some old Greek yogurt that was like over a month old that was starting to get a little green on the edges. Had some shriveled cucumbers in a drawer and some leftover green beans from I don't know how many weeks ago. So I put those in some bowls to take out to our chickens to enjoy. And like I said earlier, I don't do anything with the kitchen sink until the very end. And as you can see, I have plenty of dishes that I need to take care of before I deep clean the sink. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something useful, as I have learned from many others here on YouTube on how to better maintain a house and a home. If you'd like to see more of these videos, or if you want me to expand on anything I may have mentioned in this video, feel free to comment down below, as I'd be happy to create other content along these lines. Well, happy cleaning and homemaking, friends. Catch you next time.